This is Iman Gadzhi's 9-figure marketing strategy that's helped him generate well over $100 million in sales and nearly $100 million alone just in info product sales as well. So I'm going to dive into the strategy that he has used and also a couple of other strategies that you can also use regardless of whether you want to build some big personal brand or just want to grow the brand that is the business. Either way, I'm going to go through Iman's flywheel strategy, as he calls it, as well as a bunch of other marketing strategies that you can use to also grow your business as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So to begin with, I want to go over Iman's flywheel method and how he has generated, again, over $100 million in sales in his career, and probably quite close to now 100 million or maybe a bit more than 100 million alone just in info product sales as well. And this is all using the flywheel strategy. And kind of at the same time as the flywheel strategy, I kind of think it's also kind of the docu-series method, as I like to call it. So I'll dive into that in just a second. But if you don't already know who Iman Gadzhi is, maybe if you live under a rock as an Iman Gadzhi fan, then he's kind of known as the kind of the course selling final boss, or the kind of SMA online money guy. But either way, he got his start a few years back in kind of like personal brand building anyway, when he started making like SMA content, then how to make money online content, then appealing to the kind of younger 16 to 24-year-old making money online generation of people that just want to try and start making money online, whether it's an agency or dropshipping or whatever it might be. And now, obviously, as his audience has grown and as he has grown as in business as well, he's now kind of pivoted into the kind of helping businesses grow and scale beyond the original like 5-10k per month type of SMMA guy, and now he's helping people build their personal brands like he has built his own personal brand of well over 5 million subscribers on YouTube and millions across social media. So to get started, we have the flywheel method. Now, there's a guy called Jeff Walker who kind of popularized the product launch formula, and I use quotation marks as it's kind of his formula, and it's basically this kind of docu-series style of promoting a product or service. And Iman has kind of popularized this in his own way with the flywheel strategy, or the flywheel method in this case, because what he's done here is you take one core idea or one core concept that is basically your offer you have for your products or your services and your target market that you want to speak to, and you create a kind of episodic documentary series that is telling a story that leads people towards solving a pain point and or achieving a desired outcome that your product or service solves for that target customer. And so that's basically what Iman has done with the flywheel method, how he's made multiple product launch formula kind of docu-series and also made one-off ones as well that have worked for him, and I'll get onto both in just a moment. But that's ultimately what Iman has used and what Jeff Walker popularized. If you just simply search the product launch formula, you'll find that on YouTube. I'll link it below if I remember to as well. That's ultimately how you can use this strategy to also generate views, convert potential customers into paying clients or customers for your business as well. So obviously these are his newer videos. He's not necessarily actually done this really in a year or two like beyond his original VSL. That's obviously the power of it and why he didn't need to. But in the last kind of year or so, as of recording this in the beginning of 2025, we've kind of got 3 new VSLs that I believe might be the ones that stick around for a while, or at least 1 or 2 of them might. So Iman has kind of officially stopped selling kind of info products, but he still has an info product community called Digital Launchpad, although he just considers it his mobile app. And this is ultimately, I would say, the last time he's properly made a VSL for it. This is the last time he properly made something to promote that. And that was with this, which is Change Your Life in 6 months, the 5-step process. Obviously this hashtag, this thumbnail and title may change over time. Obviously that's what rehashing we'll get on into a bit, but that's probably the last video he's made to do with that info product set of programs and community he's made. Digital Launchpad, it's kind of his only low ticket, like under $50 a month kind of subscription. And then these last 2 are what he's made in the past couple of months, kind of the end of 2024 going into 2025. Obviously him now working on trying to help small business owners or people build their personal brands, kind of basically what he calls like build a micro niche personal brand and get to 6 or 7 figures per year by selling a high ticket product or service to people, especially like a high ticket digital info product or service to people. Because his whole idea for this is that, which is very true, you can basically create a following and an audience that is high converting because they are more likely to buy from you than just a randomly large audience. And if you create a following of maybe 5 or 10 or 20,000 followers or subscribers across social media, but they are your target audience and your target market for your products or services, you're going to have like a 1 to 5% conversion rate for those people. And of course, if you have like a $5,000 or $10,000 product, or even just a $1,000 product, if you only have to sell like 5 or 10 per month towards your audience, then that's like, you create your biggest asset, which is the personal brand here. And that's exactly what Iman is trying to help people do here. And obviously he has this amazingly, large personal brand that he's built over the past few years to actually be able to help people do that, and obviously use his own success as authority and social proof and just success to be able to prove it's not impossible to do. And so that is ultimately what he's done. Now let's get on to how this works. Now ultimately, what Iman has done very well here is he noticed that he's actually talked about this on multiple videos as well, that he didn't just do this just to see if it would work. There was massive intention behind this in the last couple of years. Obviously, behind closed doors, you don't know what people are like behind closed doors in terms of what their personality is like and how they are perceived by different people. But that's marketing, and that's whether it's showmanship or whether it is how you present yourself to a certain type of person and certain type of target audience. That's the kind of skill, and that's Iman's own initiative with how he wants to speak to different target audiences. But out of the way, with his original, VSL he made a couple of years back, which is basically helping people, basically like 16 to 24-year-olds start making $10,000 or more a month online. He was like, hey, if you want to start making money online, this is where I'd recommend starting, because I've made over $1 million in profit doing it, and it's the agency model, blah, blah, blah. Other people have talked about it with dropshipping, all these different types of business models. But what made Iman's method of marketing this most unique here is that instead of just making like a video on a landing page and then trying to convert people onto a lead form or get people to book calls with you, he made a YouTube video, which isn't your typical type of ad. You don't typically make a YouTube video to try and get customers, or at least not many people do it ever since YouTube has been a thing, basically. No one's really ever used YouTube specifically for trying to get customers or clients. Yes, they might get it as a byproduct, but they haven't intentionally used YouTube to get customers or clients. They might use it and be like, oh, I've seen you on YouTube, I kind of want to buy from you. And that's sometimes how it works. But Iman has technically been one of, not necessarily the only, but one of the first people to actually popularize using YouTube as a way to actually make money and grow and scale your business. And obviously, it's not the only place in the world you have to do it. There are many other places as well as just YouTube, but this is just one particular way that YouTube has allowed Iman to basically turn it into an advertising platform for him. And I'll get onto the exact reasons and why he did that later on in this video. But ultimately, he created the most highly valued video, and it's 30-40 minutes long, onto YouTube with as much information as possible in it to help people that might feel lost, might not know where they're going with how to start making money online, what business model might be the best for them. And he ultimately, obviously, given what he's trying to sell, directed them to, here's how to start an agency. You want to start an agency, and I've got an agency course for you. Here it is. And obviously other tactics as well towards the end of the video to actually encourage people to want to buy from him. So that's the first best thing of how this works so well, is you want to, if you want to copy from what Iman's done. But what he did so well here is just create a massively highly valuable video sales letter, a VSL, that is long form. It's not like a 2 or 3 minute long one on a landing page. It's on YouTube. People can search for it and find it, which we'll get onto in just a second. And that is ultimately how it works so well. And again, going back to the second point here, the reason it works so well is because you're using one of the largest search engines, one of the largest video sharing platforms in the world as your advertising platform. You're using just the reach of social media, of people searching for different things because of different interests and search terms. And you're using that browser and that search engine, that video sharing engine, to power your sales machine, to power your business. And that's how Iman has made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and had from millions of sales as well. Because again, you're going to get many more conversions from people that actually realize they're almost being sold to, and I could get onto that in just a bit as well. But ultimately, this is just utilizing the power of YouTube search and the algorithm to work so well. And of course, once you actually get people in to the video and onto the actual, and they're interested and they're listening along and everything, that's just the power of the next call to action. So one of the most popular things Iman has done is what's called the reverse sale, which is basically when you tell people you use scarcity with the reverse sale. So reverse sale is when you have a price increase after a certain amount of days or weeks or a certain time, and then you use that with maybe either price is going to go up, or this deal is going to close, or the offer is going to close completely after X amount of days. And often, in his videos, he would say, and actually, to be fair, I can only offer you half price now. It's going to go up to $2,000, or it's going to go to $1,500 after a few days. I don't know when exactly it's going to be, at least 3 to 4 days, but I can't guarantee when it's going to be. But I'd lock the price in now while you still can. And that's obviously the reverse sale to increase scarcity and make it feel much more valuable as well. And that's exactly why, and that's exactly what he used and why he used it, to be able to just get thousands of people to convert on one of these long form videos, to be able to convert to his landing page, see the shorter video, which is a bit more technical and a bit more tactical, and then book a call with him, or just to sign up straight away for the actual course. And that's why those actual call to actions work so well. And of course, one of the last pieces of this is just going back to like what it was with the YouTube algorithm, is because of things like YouTube has end cards and because of descriptions and things, this is the second most important tactical piece that Iman and his team has used to be able to make what is known as the flywheel effect that he created. Because it's all well and good to just have the video, but not only did he have the video, any other video that he's made that is relevant and relates to the target audience he's been talking to in that VSL, he can link back to. So any video he's made, so let's say for instance he was making the video about starting an agency, and this is my agency course, his primary target audience was like 16 to 24-year-olds wanting to start making money online. So if he makes another video for 16 to 24-year-olds that want to make money online, he might make a video that's like the 7 habits to become a millionaire in your 20s or in your teens. So all of those target market are going to go watch that video. But of course, they're also likely buyers of the agency course. So he links the agency course VSL in the description of all those other videos, like the 7 habits to become a millionaire. And that's how the flywheel starts, because you get all these other interested eyeballs on these other pieces of content on the YouTube channel and other channels as well. And then you link people back to your main VSL in the description. And of course, this isn't just what works amazingly well for YouTube. It can work for other places as well. Anywhere you can relink or add, like you can follow this page for this, link it back to here. It's where you create a compounding effect. And it's like the flywheel, because it keeps recycling on itself and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And this works for obviously the end cards of a video, for him saying that if you also want to know how to make money online now, you want to actually start making your first $10,000 a month, I've linked a video below that will walk you through that exact step-by-step process. That's exactly how he was able to create that compounding effect on all of his videos that link back to that original VSL, which allowed him to make millions and millions of views from it and then get millions and millions of dollars in sales from it. And that's why that works so well. So now obviously we've been over like how this works and obviously what he's now using to get sales for his like high ticket offer, because obviously he's been selling courses, selling info products, selling software on the back end of it as well. But now he's obviously trying to sell you or anybody that is eligible for it on basically creating a micro niche personal brand. He's now gone from just selling like a course creating system basically for agency owners. It's now more of a tactical info product based on, these are my like SOPs, operating procedures and documents that I've used to create my brand. And now I'm just licensing them out to you for this high ticket offer. So that's exactly what he's doing now. So now let's go to why this works so well. And this is more of the psychological effects and kind of cognitive biases and psychological triggers that make this work so well in this case specifically, but also just for this type of content as well. So immediately it works because you have immediate authority and credibility. So Iman Gadzhi's use of his own track record and results in his videos builds instant credibility. By explaining why his method works based on his own success, he taps into the principle of authority. Viewers trust someone who has proven results and has been there and done that. And the social proof comes from Iman sharing success stories from his past clients, showcasing real-world results. This builds further credibility, as people are more likely to believe in something that others have successfully used as well. And that's obviously a big part of success stories for social proof there. And then, of course, this is pretty known for Iman. Of course, the younger generation might maybe more susceptible than to other generations of people, but obviously the production quality, like filming in luxury mansions, subconsciously enhances the perception of authority. People associate high quality, aspirational settings with success and prestige, making the content feel much more genuine and legitimate. And this is one of the big parts I've seen with Iman's content, whether it's been his courses or the actual VSLs he puts for free on YouTube, whatever. he just displays obviously this luxury lifestyle. Obviously, it is to create that kind of whether you know it consciously or subconsciously, you associate it with just his lifestyle, and obviously he's achieved something, so you almost don't need social proof at that point because the place kind of makes you immediately think he does have it. But that's kind of where that kind of aligns and kind of goes hand in hand with him building his reputation of who he is and the kind of lifestyle marketing that he's trying to portray. And that's obviously what helps him, not only helps him selling his courses and info products, but it's what helps him sell his digital products as well. Because like a lot of his, like he's got a whole behind the scenes channel called Iman Gadzhi Unscripted that's allowed him to make millions and millions in profit per year just from that lifestyle marketing, like having his big day energy drinks and these types of things. It allows him to just simply use his lifestyle to market his brand really effectively. And that's something that a lot of these types of people can do very well. And if you have that ability to do that with your business or your service, that's something you can do as well. Use the lifestyle of whatever you're talking about or whatever you're presenting in a certain way to be able to promote your products or services. And lastly, we have YouTube's compound effect. Now, we talked about this a little bit, but obviously, YouTube works as a compounding machine by creating by creating a valuable video. Iman's not just delivering content, but building a machine here as well. So the viewers enjoy the content, they like and share it and comment on it, which boosts the video's visibility through the YouTube algorithm. The more engagement it gets, the more it gets pushed around by the viewers, creating a snowball effect, like Iman calls it the flywheel effect. And so over time, this virality and reach amplifies, making the video more visible to more people without the additional effort from Iman and his team, which drives more and more views and potential leads. And of course, in this case, all Iman really has to do, all his team have to do is kind of re-edit and re-upload new thumbnails and titles every couple of months, but that's about it. Maybe like 2 edits a year to the big VSL, and that's it. That's all the work they have to do. Other people are making hundreds and hundreds of ads every year. He's just changing a thumbnail and title twice a year. That's it, really. Maybe even less than that. And so for people to buy from you, they need to know, like, and trust you. So for Iman fans that resonate with his personal journey insights, they trust him as a business mentor and owner, and that immediately builds the authenticity and relatability that makes the viewers feel like they know him, while his success stories and constant delivery of value make them like him even more. So this is ultimately why, like, Iman, and obviously a lot of people like him, they almost have their fans begging to buy from them because of the authority and credibility and relatability and trust they feel like they have, even though a lot of the time it's quite funny that a lot of people actually might have nothing in common with someone, but because they feel like they relate to them and there's that trust and authority with them, they almost want to find ways to relate to them in some way, shape, or form, or find way, like they'll have this just confirmation bias and this feeling of complete bias towards this one person over anybody else, purely because they become a fan of them. And that's one of the most insanely powerful things that you can build between yourself and fans or like potential customers or clients of your business, because it just makes them want anything you have to offer. And that's the most powerful thing about building a brand. And so that's some of the more psychological reasons why this works, come down to psychological biases here and just kind of marketing tactics and strategy. But now I kind of want to dive into some of the key reasons, why content marketing works. And then ultimately, I'll get on to some more tactical pieces that might help you in just a moment. But ultimately, this is content marketing, if you're not already aware. So it's more specifically, it's kind of evergreen content marketing. Because of course, anybody can make content and put it on social media anywhere, but this is a specific type of content marketing where you're making something just to ever last. It might last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even longer, but it's something that you just upload once, you make it last basically as long as you possibly can. All you have to do is maybe update little things as you can, thumbnails, titles, changes, bios, whatever it might be, hashtags, certain things like that. But ultimately, you're not changing the main piece of content that it is. And so the flywheel under this category falls under this category because it's a system that uses high value, long lasting content like a video sales letter to continually attract and convert leads over time, creating a self-sustaining growth loop. So in Iman's case, his VSLs are evergreen content because they remain relevant and useful long after they're published, continuously attracting viewers and generating leads. And so the flywheel effect comes into play because the content keeps working for you over and over again over time. With a VSL on YouTube, as it gains traction through likes, shares, and comments, the cycle perpetuates itself, generating more visibility, more leads, and ultimately more sales. And this type of marketing builds momentum over time, hence the flywheel effect. So how does this fall under content marketing? So like I said, it's the evergreen nature of it, so you don't have to constantly be making ads all the time or making new pieces of content around it. It just works for its own thing. And one thing I mentioned earlier that I want to talk about is the fact that this is completely organic and free. Iman has already mentioned this over time, and how like this is ultimately also why he has the leverage to say this and had the ability to actually use this as like a kind of upper hand compared to other methods that work well as well, but also this works by itself, is that he's obviously explained how YouTube has paid him to make these ads. Technically, he's run an ad, made money from the ad, the VSL, but also YouTube has paid him $200,000 plus just from the video as well. So not only has he made money from selling his products and services, he's made money from the ad itself. And there's not really any other platform or type of marketing where you make money from the marketing as well as as whatever you're selling to. Like, that's never ever really been a case. And that kind of is the power in this unique situation of what Iman's done here and how you can do the same for that. And obviously the nurturing aspect of here, the personal brand building, is insane here, because again, it's not just about making a sale, it's about building a relationship and trust with your audience. Because Iman's content, the videos and the VSL in this case, it just builds so much credibility, so much authority and trust that people just become mega fans of Iman. And ultimately people make videos like this where they end up building his brand even more, because it's building off of his brand to build a following, and his brand grows even more and more the more people make videos about him and his content. And that's why ultimately it just works so well. So that is one of many things that you can do. And that's obviously the kind of flywheel strategy there. But I want to get on to, just before we go over this, obviously that is his method that he's used, but I want to go to some other types of marketing that you can use to be able to grow your business, get more clients, for customers for your business as well. But before I do this, I do have a video linked in the description below, which is 9 steps to getting more customers or clients for your business as well. So be sure to check that out, because it goes into way more tactical advice on everything I'm going to cover in just a second. But ultimately, if you do want more information, follow the link below to see exactly how that can help you in your business today. But nonetheless, these are some of the methods. Obviously, some of them Iman's used. I think basically every single one of these is something he has used. Obviously, it's kind of the mark of a successful person, successful business, using as many different types of marketing as you can to actually get customers and clients. And obviously different businesses and different services and products require different types of marketing, but nonetheless, it's good to be able to bring them all in as much as you can where possible. So to begin with, we have paid advertising, which is again, really the only best way to get guaranteed sales in a short space of time. So if you're talking about trying to double the revenue of your business, if you're under like 50 or 100K per month within 60 to 90 days, paid ads is the way to go. Not necessarily like SEO with Google, but like meta ads on Instagram and Facebook. Just if you're currently at like 5 to 50K per month with your business, regardless of what products or services you're selling, if you do want to double that from 5 to 10 or 25K, or from 50 to 100K within like 60 to 90 days, that's entirely possible with paid ads. And really, you've only got to start with like a few $100s budget at most. So if you do have a business of, any size up to about 50K per month, that's really to be honest, it's possible to double it up to about 50K per month. But still, if you do want quick guaranteed sales, paid advertising is the best way to go for that. And obviously, if you're a small business owner under 50K per month, then doubling within the first like 2 to 3 months is so possible. Even if you're just starting with a few $100s, that's very possible. Obviously, click the link below if you want to see that video. Go into way more tactical advice and tips and tricks about how that's possible on there as well. The next one is obviously just kind of building more on your organic social presence. So obviously, this is what Iman did with just YouTube and his social media presence long term, but just using Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, making short form content, speaking to your target market. And obviously, a lot of people think making shorts all the time, you got to do like weird dancing videos or something, but that's just how TikTok started. And as long as you're talking to your target audience, as long as you're speaking to their pain points, their desired outcomes, or you're talking about specific parts of your products or services and how that can help solve pain points or achieve and get to desired outcomes for your customers or clients, then just ultimately making shorts and connecting that to other areas and using other pieces of marketing to bring into social media marketing which is what can work so well for that. And obviously, what can work so well is often you might have a short on YouTube or on social media somewhere that you turn into a piece of email marketing, and that's what can work so well. And a big thing with small business owners especially, but any size of business, is that you probably already have an email list. You probably already have a document full of people that have already signed up to an email list from ages ago, whatever it might be. Use them, because they are warm, interested buyers, potential buyers of your products or services. So wherever that list is, just send them out an email, at least just one email. But if not, there are dozens and dozens of free email marketing services like MailChimp. There's basically free limits you have. You can put up to like a couple of thousand contacts in it, like for free basically per month. So put them in that, set up a sequence, because you're just basically sat on money. Basically, you're sat on money because if you've got 100 people, you've probably got at least 1 to 10 sales sat right in front of you. So get the email list going, because honestly, that's just like that's literally being sat on money when you've got an email list already. So that's the next one. The next, of course, is email marketing, because ultimately, a lot of people might think this is out of reach for them, but they're only thinking in terms of the biggest influencers in the world. But you are probably not aware of how many micro influencers, again, just like Iman's trying to build for his audience, how many micro influencers that are in your industry that have an audience and a following that is your target market is insane. You probably aren't fully aware of it, because they don't have to have 100, 200, 500,000 followers to help you grow the business. You might be able to find an influencer in your local area or in the world somewhere that is, has a following that is your target audience, that they might just have a few thousand followers, but depending on their engagement, they might be perfect for your business. Because let's say they've got 5,000 or 6,000 followers, they might have a massive engagement rate of like 20 or 30%. They might have hundreds of comments and likes on every video, on every piece of content they post. So reaching out to them, offering free samples or free trials of things, giving them commission or payments, or commissions or whatever it might be from sales that they can generate through their personal brand. Even if you sent an email or messages out to 5 or 10 different influencers and just got 1 or 2 signed up, that could be amazing for your business. You can get an extra few hundred sales probably just from that, depending on the type of influencer and their following, basically. So that's an insane way to be able to go from that. The next one is referral programs. So this is very big for small businesses that are obviously just starting out, getting their first few customers or clients, but this also works at the other end. So when you have the leverage to be able to offer, massive giveaways and rewards, you can use referral programs to do that. So once you have the margins to be able to offer big cash prizes or big giveaways or things like that, you can actually start using referral programs again in your business to then grow the business even more and more and more. And that's what can work so well. And so the last one is Google SEO. So a lot of people kind of get this wrong, where they think Google just means spending a few £100 or dollars a month on Google, just hoping for some clicks. But actually, that's like 20 or 30% of it. A good 50 to 70% of SEO is making sure that your website is as optimized as possible, making sure you've got things called backlinks. I don't want to get too technical in this video, but ultimately it's having links on other places that link to your stuff, because ultimately, if you're building a brand, it's not just about building some sort of social presence or whatever it is. It's also about having, your website's reputation positively across social media. It's about having it spread as far and wide as it can, because if you can appear in as many search terms as possible that relate to your target market and what they're searching for, there's a much exponentially larger, higher, like, if I can get my words out, there's an exponentially higher likelihood that when they search for the search term that is anything to do with your business, they are much more likely to see your link first to your website, your product or service page, before they see anybody else's. And that's the power of even just organic free SEO optimization. So make sure you're looking at that first. Optimize your website and other landing pages as much as you possibly can. Optimize every product page, every landing page, and that will work perfectly before you even consider doing like Google paid ads or anything like that. So ultimately, that is why that works so well. And just before we end this, obviously talking about Iman's video, so I kind of want to dive back into why the flywheel method from Iman is so powerful and why it works so well, and why you could do the same for your business too. So naturally, obviously, scalability here, because you make something once and it's going to get sales and sales and create leads forevermore. It's like it's an ad that is free, especially on YouTube. It's free, and in YouTube, if you're monetizing it, it's free. It's making money by itself, even without the product or service sales. And then it's going to start generating more leads and more sales for you. So it's just this compounding machine that is incredibly powerful. And then the next thing is trust building here, because obviously Iman's built a massive reputation and personal brand off of this. So the trust and authority and rapport and social proof you build off this is just insane, just naturally working for you perfectly. It's being shared and reshared and everything. And this obviously leads to number 3, which is the compounding results, because there's no other type of ad or marketing really where you can get the compounding results of doing this. And it doesn't just have to be on YouTube, it can be on any other social media platform, but the compounding results you can get from just having this one piece out there and it being shared and shared and shared all over and over again. So that's really the power of having that, and it's why Iman has been able to just, again, make like one type of video and it just gets millions and millions of views, generates millions and millions of dollars in profit for him as well. And ultimately, it's just the best way to make evergreen, everlasting content that just works for you forever. And it's how he's built his brand, and it's how you can do the same too. So I hope this is insightful. I hope you found it helpful. If you do want to know how you can do the same for your business, or if you want to know how you can use any of the marketing tips and tricks I actually covered in this video as well, like any of these other methods, then feel free to click in a link in the description to see the 9 steps to getting more customers or clients for your business as well. But nonetheless, I hope that's helpful and I hope you find this as informative as possible. And if you did enjoy it, please feel free to share it around. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the notification bell to see whenever I upload a new video too. But nonetheless, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.